If you want that service, it's 2.5%. If you want me to just come in with my phone and take a few photos, stick it on Rightmove for any price that you want, and just hope we get some wood on the ball, sure, I'll do it for 0.5%, no problem.
So back in the UK, because I know you've got businesses on both countries now. Back in the UK, you charge a 2.5% sales fee, do you?
Yes, sole agency.
I mean, I was going to come on to talk about, talk about the UK market versus the Dubai market later on, but maybe we'll just pick up on this now. I always hear people. I've lived in America as well, so I've experienced a real estate market over there where commissions are 6%,
Yes.
split two ways, certainly 5%, and people always pull a face about it and these commissions are ridiculous. And my simplistic view is, like with anything in life, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And yes, they're chunky commissions, but when you look at US real estate agents, or when you look at Dubai real estate agents, okay, fine, there'll always be some charlatans around, but in general, the charlatans because they're hungry people who know that there's enough money on the table to go and get paid. So they put the effort in. Yes, they might be hounding you, but they're hounding you because because there's a sale to be made and there's money to be had. You look at a UK real estate agent, they just don't give a fuck.
They don't.
Because it's a 1% commission, probably chipped to 0.75.
Yeah.
To the agency, whereas the person who's dealing with you is probably an employee of that who's getting £100 bonus or something if he makes a sale. There's just no money in it to incentivize people.
No.
In the same way that you complain about the service in your restaurants in England. Well, we don't fucking pay them any money, and we don't want to tip them either. You go to America, it's not a shameful thing to be a career waiter. You can be a waiter all your life, earning a 6-figure salary. Because people tip, because people pay, and we're going back to that. You get what you pay for. But how do you, because you must be very unusual, charging 2.5%. How do you make that sale in a business which is normally a race for the bottom?
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant question, and it's one that we cover in our training heavily in the business. The most simplistic way that I would put it is that you don't send a boy in to do a man's job. And for me, if you are looking to sell what is arguably your biggest asset, you need the person who is the most skilled to deliver the best possible result. So everyone can come in and say, I'm the greatest estate agent, I'm going to sell your home. That's fine. But if you actually demonstrate, first of all, that side of it, your ability, your certainty in yourself, certainty in your ability, your results of what you've done and what the business has done to show that we can do this. Secondly, the process. So it's one thing being a great hit and run salesman, as we called it, but what's your process? What's the actual tangible process that's attached to that? Okay, so we're going to attract far more leads through social media. We're going to get far more views, far more click-throughs. We're going to get far more buyer leads come through the property portals. We're going to get short, medium, and long form content done to attract far more buyer leads through different platforms. In addition to all of that, then what we've got is a process where we're going to drive buyers into a competitive environment. We're going to make sure that the property gets multitude of buyers through the door on a selected open house or viewing weekend. And then here's the evidence where we've shown other properties on a national scale where we have shown that we deliver this process, not only just a fresh new listing, we're talking about stuff that's been on the market for 2-3 years at a time with failed estate agents who are charging 1%. We've gone in, delivered the process, delivered the proper pricing strategy, the marketing strategy, the negotiations. We've driven 30, 40, 50 buyers through the door over 2 weekends, got 10 offers on the table, and we've delivered a sale in 3-4 weeks when this was on for 12 months with other agents. That's how the process works. But if you want that service, it's 2.5%. If you want me to just come in with my phone and take a few photos, stick it on Rightmove for any price that you want, and just hope we get some wood on the ball, sure, I'll do it for 0.5%, no problem.
But are you going to get me a higher price that's going to effectively absorb your extra commission anyway?
Well, I always think that the extra commission is based on, I mean, if you put it into poundage terms, right, let's just work on, I don't know, £1 million. It's
£1 million house, so I'm either paying 10 grand or I'm paying 25 grand.
So
do you think you can get me that extra 15 grand?
£15,000 in £1 million is a drop in the ocean. And funny enough, the process attached to what I would call a very, very mundane process in selling with a high street agent or someone of that level of skill, you're not only going to be thinking you're saving on the fee, but you're going to be losing a dramatic amount of value in your property based on the fact the process is not designed to get you the highest possible price. So you might think you're saving on the fee by £15,000, but you're probably going to lose 10-15% of your house value because they don't have a strategy attached to it. So what we've got is a measurable strategy that you can literally monitor on facts, figures, data, and you can actually then drive that into the end result with how many buyers has it generated, unlimited amounts of case studies of where this has been successful. And then we say, look, and I'll often finish on the fact that, the one thing you've got is there's a process that I've demonstrated, which is absolutely, top drawer, but you've also got the best negotiator in the industry driving your price to the highest possible level. If someone comes in and chucks a $950 offer at me, do you think I'm going to snap their hand off and come running to you? I'm going to say, look, we've got 10 other offers on the table. We are driving this to close on Monday afternoon, and you need to come in with your best and final offer, and we're going to make sure that the best and final offer is what the property sells for. So we're not just guaranteeing to sell your home, we're also guaranteeing to get the best possible price that the market can produce. And that is something that we stand by.
I think that's something that people don't appreciate as well when they complain about the commission side, particularly when you talk about that kind of American, 6%, 3%. That when you've got a UK agent at 1%, 0.75%, the difference on that 50 grand is neither at 0.75. It's neither here nor there. They just think, fuck it, I want to make the sale and get the 950. Whereas when you start to get to 2.5%, 3%, it starts to become a materially higher amount that actually just does genuinely impact on the agent's commission.
Well, also what I find is that it's not only just to protect the owner, but it's actually to protect the agent that's doing the job. So for me, if I ring up an owner and I have one viewing in 3 weeks, and then that one viewing makes an offer of 940 on £1 million house, or it's worth around £1 million, my credibility in that negotiation process, it's not that high. The owner can easily turn around to me and say, well, you've only had one viewing in 3 weeks. This is the first offer. What I might do is just see what another agent can do, bring someone else in, we'll go multi-agency, that type of thing. When we put a process in place where we can say, right, it's had 15, 20, 30,000 views across different property platforms. We've had 46 inquiries that have come through in the space of 3 weeks. We had 24 people through the door. Here's all the feedback from all the buyers that were in the market. They've compared it to the other properties that it's again. They've said that they wouldn't pay this price for it because of this. The main road's a bit too close for it, so they wouldn't pay this price that you're looking for, etc., etc., etc. Right through to, right, now we're into the offers. The lowest offer, which was their best and final, was $975. We've got Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who've offered $985. And then we've got Mr. and Mrs. Khan, who are the absolute highest offer. This is their walkaway figure of $1,050,000. And the reason they've said that is because of X, Y, and Z, and this is why it's their best and final price. Here's our property data that we put you forward. It falls within the highest percentile of pound per square foot achieved in the area that your property is located in. The feedback also backs up the case. And what we do is, and what we train everyone to do in the business is not be a hit and run salesperson. You've got to treat it like you're a lawyer and you're presenting a case. So when we go and sit down with an owner and present an offer, we're not just saying, there's your offer. We're saying, here is all the evidence that's led up to that offer. Here's all the extenuating circumstances to why people won't pay the highest as high as this buyer will. And here's how it led up to it. And then what happens is it holds so much weight that you can look at it, sit opposite an owner, and you can say, I've done my job. I've done my job. So now the ball's in your court.